The devastating effects of South Africa's worst drought in over a century is continuing to wreak havoc, with corn production set to be lowered again for the third time this season. That's the lowest since 2006 due to the damage caused by the drought, which has affected parts of eastern and southern Africa and threatened food security to some 52 million people. South Africa is the continent's top maize producer, but will cut production output by 25% this year. Wheat is a predominant crop in the Western Cape, but that too took a massive hit.
We are basically the breadbasket of South Africa, and we have lost out of the between 880 and 900,000 tons the Western Cape produces. We lost about 200,000 tons in the Swartland, which is having a devastating effect on those farmers, especially on their cash flow, and especially for funding this new season to start buying the inputs to go in for cash production.
The dams remain dry as a result of the prolonged dry spell. El Nino has hit these parts before, but never with such devastation. Grain may now have to be imported to offset local supplies. As a result, food prices have already begun to increase, and some experts believe it's not clear whether the worst is yet to come.
I think this is the era of uncertainty, and we saw predictions from models cast in about 5 or 6 years ago predicting that we would have very uncertain late rains, for instance, in the Western Cape here, upset systems in other parts of the country as well. So we are in a position where the models are very difficult to predict and forecast what's going to come next.
Given the current situation, farmers may also need to reevaluate which crops they choose to grow in the future.
We have to rethink the continued growth of grain across this country. It may be that we should be looking for other forms of protein, other forms of vegetable matter, for instance, that we can feed the nation in. And maybe that's the big challenge we've got to look at. If we're really going to mitigate and meet the challenge, it might mean changing the way we actually farming.
One thing stakeholders do agree on is the long dry spells are expected to be followed by brief heavy downpours. And it's at that period that the dams are expected to rise, and the agricultural industry can arrest the downward spiral in their crop production. That was Andrew, CCTV, Cape Town.